Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a cotton tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Good morning, everyone. It is, I gotta look here, what is it? Why, it is Wednesday the 20th of March. Another day, 25 degrees. Simply beautiful. Now, Dave, tell you something. Yesterday's video was pretty sad. You really sounded like a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. I can't believe it. I mean, if you don't believe in the moon landing, there's no hope for you. Well, actually, I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy factualist. Big difference, people. Okay. Who is the dude in the picture? Well, that dude is none other than NASA's Robert Simmons, data visualizer and designer. In other words, a computer-generated imaging engineer. He is the creator of what was known in the 70s as the Big Blue Marble, your planet Earth that you believe you live on. So, let's see what Mr. Simmons in this interview has to say about his Big Blue Marble. Oop, boy, I'll tell you what, these skills are incredible. I'm just getting better and better at it. Here we go, people. Okay, nice little delay there as usual because I'm right on top of this. I suppose it would help if I push play.
Then in 2002, Blue Marble 2.0, NASA's Rob Simmons made this. And it had wide appeal too. For example, it ended up as the default background on the iPhone.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simmons' job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
Wait a minute. In the 70s, how come you two forgot about the Apollo missions from 69 to 72? Surely they took pictures from space of the Big Blue Marble. Did they not, Mr. Simmons?
And layer here comes from
the Moderate Resolution Imaging Spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it was a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
It is photoshopped, but it has to be. iPhone cameras? Couldn't anybody take a picture? I mean, in all these years you guys have been out in space, can't anybody take a simple cell phone high-definition camera and snap a blankety-blank picture of the blankety-blank Earth? Let's end this nonsense. Hey, Dave, where you been? The International Space Station used to have a live feed. You could watch it flying in low Earth orbit, taking pictures all the time, 24/7. Yeah. International Space Station, huh? Is a space station or a habitable artificial satellite in low Earth orbit. Its first component was launched into orbit in 1998, with the first long-term residents arriving in November 2000. You could go on and on. It's been continuously habited since that date. You know what? I think it's fake, people. Because here's your problem. They're giving you live feeds from the ISS. Who remembers it being built? Anybody? Anybody seen? Anybody have construction pictures of the ISS being built? And I don't know what planet I was living on at the time. Who remembers it being launched? Now that thing is about the size of a football field, according to NASA. Never a straight answer. Don't think they launched it with one rocket, so they must have had a series of launches. I mean, do you guys remember that? I sure don't remember it, but bingo, bango, bongo, there it is. Low Earth orbit. Nonsense. NASA's archives actually show a picture of the Earth from the moon. Yeah, from the Apollo missions. But here's the problem. You're going to have to take my word for it, or you're going to have to do your own research. When you Photoshop deconstruct it, you will see the moon was, the Earth was added, photoshopped in. Can't even take a picture from the moon. You know what that makes me think? I don't think they went to the moon. Now, here's your dilemma. If NASA lied about the big blue marble, because they didn't have any pictures, even though they said they had pictures, are they telling the truth now? With the ISS, with all these satellites we have out there? I think they were lying then, and I think they're still lying. But so says someone who wears a tinfoil hat. Okay, people. Now, this Paper Moon, 1933 song, at the beginning. Have you ever noticed the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time? Well, if you were to roll out when I'm rolling out instead of rolling over, you'd have seen this phenomenon more than once. The sun in the east, the moon going down in the west. Notice that they call it a sunrise? They don't call it the Earth's spin to the sun. They call it the sunrise. Because I think it's the sun that's rising. So, how can I see in my field of view, in my skyline, both the sun and the moon at the same time? Shouldn't that moon be way down under, say around New Zealand, Australia? That's what I was told, but I got them both in my same sky. And it happens more than once. And here's another thing. You know, have you ever noticed that the sun and the moon appear to be the same size? Teacher, I know why. Little Johnny, what is the answer to that apparent contradiction? Because the moon is only 238,900 miles from Earth, but the sun is 93 million miles from Earth. Wow. Cool, Johnny. How about this for an answer, though? The reason the sun and the moon appear the same size, they are the same size. Gee, that's a novel idea. Something looks the same size. Gee, do you think it could possibly be the same size? Yeah, and they're both enclosed inside the dome, inside the firmament. Now, how do you get these figures? 238,900 miles to the moon. Well, that's an easy one, because NASA went there so many times, in spite of yesterday's video where NASA and a former president says they can't get past low Earth orbit. But let's go with that. So they've measured the distance of the moon. They've got a odometer on board these Apollo shuttles, don't they? I mean, certainly they got to know how far they're going. How do you know the sun is 93 million miles away, people? Did you ever stop to think about it? Did you ever stop to say, how do you know? How did you measure 93 million miles? As one bar patron once said to me, that is one long Stanley tape measure. But you believe it. Somebody said it's 93 million miles away. Hey, it's 93 million miles away, and that is why the illusion of the sun and the moon looking the same size. But I don't think it's an illusion. I think they're the same size. I think they're much closer to us than they say it is, and I observe it. You know, we got to start wearing T-shirts that say, I can't believe my own eyes. It's amazing. It's stunning, people. Okay, let's end this real quickly here with one little biblical quote. Can we do that? Won't be too painful, people. Not at all. Genesis 1, verse 16. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Now, how simple is that? 93 million miles away, NASA's bullshit. It's in there. It's in the Bible, people. Yeah, the sun is the daylight. The moon is its own self-illuminating. You will never land on a light. Why do you only see one side of the moon? Hey, did you ever think And they only have one side? Yeah, but wait a minute, Dave. Didn't the Chinese space program? Oh yeah, those technologically advanced Chinese, they can't design anything. They steal all technology. Didn't they just recently take pictures of the dark side of the moon, the side nobody sees? Yeah, I suppose you can believe that if you want. But then, I think a lot of you people believe Elon Musk, Tesla Motors, car in space. SpaceX, Fake X. You remember here not too long ago? They launched a red convertible with a spaceman behind the wheel with the radio on, trucking to the sun. A car in space. Now how novel is that? And what did Elon Musk say after the launch? Quote, well, you know it has to be real because it looks so fake. And what do people go and do? They believe him. Yeah, it's got to be real because it sure as hell does look fake. Alright people, that was a little special video. You get up early when you roll out like I do while you're rolling over. I get stuff done. And I got stuff to do. And I like my tinfoil hat. You guys have a good day. Until next video.